Hope all y'all are having a blessed day. We are here today with our next little project. And as you can see, boy, is this one fun. And you toss this thing into the washing machine when you're done, and you have an instant antique quilt. Let me take it down and show it to you. Here is the back, and here is the front. And I'll tell you, if you want a fun portable project, this is the one for you. So stick around. We are here at the cutting table, as you can see, and I wanted to let you know that I am using the Daisy and Grace Quilt As You Go 2.5-inch hexagons. Now in quilting, the hexagons are sized 2.5-inch from this point to this point. And what you do is you cut hexagons that are this size here, which is 3 3/8 inches from this point to this point, and you cut the same number here, 2.5-inch. And then what you do is you're going to cut your fabric with the small hexagon, and you're going to cut your batting with the small hexagon. And then you're going to use this to cut your large hexagons. And then what you do is you put this on your fabric and you cut around it with your rotary cutter. And then you take a piece of batting and you pat it down there. And then you take a piece of your top and you put it like that. And then you lift up this piece and you have your whole square all set to go. And you are going to fold this up, and then you're going to fold this up, and you're going to put some pins or quilt clips on here to hold this together like so. And you can stop and iron these if you prefer. So basically you are folding it up to meet this fabric and then folding it up over. And see, it makes a really nice mitered corner for you. See, that makes such a nice little corner. So you do that all the way around, and I like to usually put them like right on that corner. And you do want to try to not fold this too much. You don't want to overshoot the edge there, because if you do that, they will not fit together. And this is like my first time really using these clips. I'll tell you what I really use them for. And you're going to think this is very silly. I clip the tag from my tea bag onto the edge of my cup so it doesn't fall in, because I have a very tall cup. And then what you're doing is you're going to go over to the sewing machine and you're going to top stitch all along here. So we'll go over to the sewing machine and we can start. If you do not have that template set, I got it from Missouri Star Quilt Company, and it is called Daisy and Grace. If you don't have a template like that, I mean, it is kind of pricey. It's $16, I believe, plus shipping. So I've drawn out a template for you, as you can see, and I will put it on my website so that you can download it, and you can cut it out of cardstock, or you can just cut it out of a cereal box. That's fine. You can cut several of them out of a cereal box and just continue to use them until they fall apart. Grab the next set. And what this template allows you to do is you can feature specific things. So if you're using all florals, you can fussy cut, and then you will have just this, and then maybe a black or a dark turquoise or Payne's gray, whatever color floats your boat, you can use as the backing. And this is just, these Quilt As You Go quilts are just fantastic because you're putting the blocks together. And when you're done putting the blocks together, your quilt is done. You don't have to worry about the binding and the backing and the batting. It's already done for you, and I just think it's brilliant. So you have the option of doing these. You can, like I said, you can use this maybe on the back of the fabric and then use the smaller one to cut the front pieces. This is from Missouri Star Quilt Company, and it is pricey. It's, like I said, $15.95 or something like that. It is, you know, it's a valuable tool to have. It makes a nice size little block. So that's why I really like this. I think it's a great idea. But if you don't have the template, I have drawn one out for you, and I give you all the measurements. So again, you can make multiple copies of this, glue it down to cardboard, or like I said, trace it on cereal boxes or what have you, whatever material you want to use. You're good to go. And when I printed this out, it's off slightly, but it doesn't matter. So long as all of your pieces are cut the same size, they will sew together. You have to be concerned about getting these edges to match. And so long as they match, you can just put this together real quick. So I do give you a template. I will put it on my website for you to download, reset the camera, hopefully, so now I can actually work here and you can see what I'm doing and my hand isn't covering it. I apologize. What I did was I started right here in the middle of this seam because there was no clip there. And I sewed to the corner, and as you get to your clips, you've got to remove them, obviously. And this machine has needle down, which is a wonderful thing. And my foot pedal actually lifts up a wee bit to allow for adjustments. And as you get closer to the corner, you've got to take your clips off. So what I'm doing is using my seam ripper to hold the corner securely. And now I'm taking this clip off. Again, I'm getting to the corner, so I'm taking the clip off. Get to the corner and pivot. And I am sewing down, I guess, about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. And I actually think that using my zipper foot would be better. I do believe, because it would hold down right here. But for this one, I think we're good to go. And I've reached the beginning. And there you have it, nice and neat and all sewn together. Let me snip off the edge here. And now, if you so desire, you can sew this together. And you just want to make sure that these corners match and this corner. And they're going to be a little different. You know, you're folding it manually and fabric shifts. So just rotate it until they match. See, now those match nicely. We can move to that, or we can just sit here and work on our pile until we have a whole bunch of them, and then we can just put it together like a puzzle. Okay, I am going to put the template on here like so. And I've got a piece of batting and I have a piece of fabric, and they're lined up. And I'm popping it into the middle here. And now I'm going to slide it over to the edge of the table so I can pick up this template. And now I'm going to start folding and clips down. And I'll start out by putting 2 clips on just to hold it securely. And fold up and get a nice mitered edge there, mitered corner. Fold that up, clip on the corner, clip in the middle. You can use pins if you prefer. And you do want to feel here and make sure that you're not rolling the batting and this piece, because you want to make sure that they'll all fit together like a puzzle. Last piece, and there is your next piece. And what I did for efficiency is I had all my fabric stacked, and I cut both sizes of hexagons the same time. So I cut a width of fabric big enough for the small hexagon and the large hexagon. And then when I had the entire stack all cut, what I did was I took like 2 off of the small hexagons and put it on the bottom of the stack. This way, all the fabrics are in a different order. Take your next piece of backing, put the template on it, take your piece of batting, and I'm sliding it to the edge of the table so I can pick the template up. And now you know it's nice and straight, and we begin again. And if you have a seam roller, you can use that. You can use whatever tools help you out. And I do have links to the tools that I use in the description of all my videos. So if you scroll down, you will see a link for this seam roller, and I can add the clips to it as well. Whatever method of control that you want, you use. There's that, and I'll add another clip. Fold it up, and slide that to the corner. Works so much better if I roll that seam. Look at that. That makes a really nice crisp edge. So that's the next one done, and you just assembly line this. And when you are tired of doing this and you would like to sew for a while, let's try the zipper foot and see how that works. I think it will work better. All right, so I'm going to the middle of my seam. I can do a couple of stitches and seam ripper. You do have to work around these clips. On the zipper foot, I am lining up the fabric with the very edge of my presser foot, and that will give you a consistent edge. And done. Okay, yes, I do like that much better with the zipper foot. I think it makes the corners much crisper because it really holds this down for you. So if you have a zipper foot, give that a try. And I am going to do one more for you because I think maybe my hands were in the way. Starting in the middle, okay, and I am lining up the very edge of this backing with the presser foot, and I'm just helping it get started. So once you get going in a method that works best for you, you can pretty much zoom through this. Okay, last corner. Ta-da! Okay, so there you have it, and it's a nice crisp edge. My first ones were kind of sloppy, so I'll stick them in the middle of the quilt. I am going to continue working on my pile that I have stacked next to me. I have this whole stack all sewn together, and it works up so quick. And you know what? If you don't want to make a quilt, that makes a great coaster. So we have our whole stack here. We did 14 of them. We are going to change our zipper foot to my, whatever this foot is. It has a plow that goes down the center. You can see it right there. And that will ride right along this edge, and we will zigzag our pieces together. So I'm going to slide this under the machine, and we're going to do a wide zigzag. I'm going to go about 4.5 millimeter wide. And if you want better control, you can start right here in the middle where you can kind of control things a little better, and where your presser foot has purchased on the fabric. And you're just going to run this through like that, and you're going to cut your thread, and there is our first stitch like that. Okay, and now we're going to, we'll start right there. That is all stitched nice and secure. It's not going to go anywhere. And now we can take the next piece, and I'm kind of liking that. So match these up, slide them under the machine, cut, and you can use a decorative stitch if you like, anything that will connect all of them together. And if you discover that something didn't catch, just run it through the machine again. Again, you can use a contrasting thread to give you a nice design. You can use a decorative stitch. When you say, okay, that's big enough, you have a finished quilt. Now here we're going to do three intersections. Okay, so we're just going to put it together like it's a puzzle. I'm going to start here and work to the edge, and then I'll turn around and go the other way. And now, when we get to the center here, we're going to want to leave the needle down on this side. This way, when we pivot, it will catch here. And you're just going to piece them together, and see that one goes over a little bit. So you rotate it until you find a match. There you go. There's a match, and there's a match. So we're going to start here in this corner. And you can, of course, do this by hand if you prefer. You can even use the same little clips and just hand stitch it if you will. So there you have it, YouTube. Check out our cute little project, and you can just keep popping these things out, You can do the work by hand if you like. You can stuff them in your purse and take them with you. And I just think that it's adorable, and I actually really enjoyed working with the 1930s Depression era fabrics again. I do love them. They're some of my favorites, and this just screams vintage quilt. You don't have to do multiple processes. You do not have to make the blocks, sew all the blocks together, put the batting on, put the backing on, quilt it. Everything is done in one step. And that's what I love about the Quilt As You Go method. This works up so quickly, and it's a lot of fun. And again, you can use your templates to fussy cut your fabrics out. So if you have 100 florals in your collection, I mean, it's not too unreasonable to think that you would have 100 pieces of fabrics with nothing but flowers on them. So you could center the flower into the center square here, and you could also center it on the back as well. And wouldn't that be a spectacular looking quilt? And it doesn't have to be hexagons. It could be any shape you like. If you like pentagons, you can do those. Those would look like the little dog houses. And then you could do squares. You could do anything you like. And I think squares would be really cool. You could use charm squares. It's a great scrap buster quilt. If you have piles of batting laying all over from previous projects, this is the perfect way to use them up. You're cutting them up into little squares and boom, you've got a quilt. And I did want to let you know that I will be filming next week, but I probably won't have a video out. One of my subscribers, Kathy, I have goosebumps to think that someone loves me enough to drive 16 hours. She is driving from Kansas all the way to the northwest corner of North Carolina to meet me. She's going to hang out with me for a few days. She's bringing me a machine that is going to knock your socks off. It is a complete, in the table, white rotary from the 1950s. It is turquoise and white. All the manuals are with it. All the accessories are with it. The cams for the zigzag stitches are there. I am just over the moon. But don't tell Kathy I'm going to be returning the favor. I'm not driving to Kansas, but I have one or two things that she might want to take back to Kansas with her. We are going to have a fabulous time. We're going to, Sanjay is going to be coming down, so that's good. So we will be going to Chinese buffet over in Mountain City. We'll be going down to this fabulous, fabulous Mexican restaurant over in Wilkes, and we're going to be going thrifting. I'm going to show her how to break down men's shirts, women's skirts, bedding, etc. to use for fabrics, and that would be perfect for this. You could also do flannels, fall-time flannels. That would be what a quilt that would make. So cozy. I'm so excited. And I feel so loved that one of my subscribers is willing to drive 16 hours to come hang out with me for a few days. I hope you enjoyed this quick little project, and I hope that you will give it a try. And I would like to remind you that I have a website at 70acresstudio.com. I have several membership tiers that you can choose from. I also have patterns and quilts and woven things and all sorts of goodies for sale. And again, I would like to invite you to join Discord. I will put a link in the description down below so that you can come on over to Discord and get to know me. Go out there today and be the light for Jesus. Share his love, share his teachings, and just let others know that Jesus is there for you. He's the only way to heaven. Thank you ever so much for watching. I love you all very, very much. You mean the world to me. Your comments just make my day. It's just so wonderful. So I will see you next time, right back here at 70 Acres Studio. I love you all very, very much. God bless.
Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy.